Hello and welcome everyone in this video lecture on chapter combustion, flame and fuels. So when we are talking about combustion, first of all you should be able to understand what is the meaning of combustion. You are well aware about carbon, okay? So whenever a carbon reacts with oxygen, it gives carbon dioxide. Carbon, when reacts with oxygen, it releases out carbon dioxide. This property of carbon, or this is the burning of carbon in the presence of oxygen. This is known as combustion. So whenever carbon is burning in the presence of oxygen, we call it combustion. There are many other things which burns with the, for example, sodium. Sodium also reacts with oxygen. Sodium also reacts with oxygen to form Na2O, that is sodium oxide. We call it oxidation, not combustion. We call it oxidation, that oxygen is getting added with sodium. So we don't call this reaction as combustion. But whenever we are talking about carbon, whenever carbon reacts with oxygen, we call it combustion. Okay, so basically what we can say is combustion is a chemical process in which substance reacts with oxygen and generates heat in the process. Or for combustion, what you require is a combustible substance or a substance which can burn. Any substance which can burn is a combustible substance. For instance, whatever the substance, for example, if I take a piece of wood, if I take this duster, and if this duster, this wood is burning, is reacting with oxygen and releasing heat and light, we call it combustion. Okay, and what actual thing which is burning? The thing which is burning is the carbon which is inside it. Okay. So flames you have seen near you. Okay, so this is the general definition of combustion. After combustion, the more thing which comes to mind is flame, because I said whenever thing is burning, it is releasing flame. Flame, light. I told you a thing which is burning, it will give us light. Where does light come from? Light comes from a flame. Light is released when there is a flame. When you are burning a diva or you are burning a candle, it is the flame which is responsible or which releases the light. Okay. So when we are talking about flame, so flame is a very important thing. Flame is a very important thing because in this flame only carbon is getting reacted. It is this place where carbon is getting oxidized, or I can say is reacting with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide. For example, CH4. Let's talk about CH4. CH4 stands for methane. When methane reacts with oxygen, it releases out CO2 plus H2O plus heat. CO2, carbon dioxide plus water plus heat. So this is the same thing which happens when you are burning LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas, which is available in the cylinder, which is filled inside the cylinder, LPG cylinder, and you cook food on that fuel. So flame combustion means reaction with oxygen. Reaction of carbon with oxygen, which releases light, heat and carbon dioxide. Okay, so light is generated from flame. So when there is a proper combustion, or I should say all the molecules of carbon are getting reacting with oxygen, so what we receive is a blue flame. But when there is an improper combustion, we receive is either yellow or white or any other flame. Okay, this is the logic behind the formation of flame and combustion. You have seen the burning of candle. When candle is burning, you can observe that at the bottom of the flame, you can see blue color. In the middle, exactly at the wick of the candle, it will be black in color, and in the outermost, it is generally orangish, or I should say yellowish in color. So these are the parts of the flame. Okay. Now, combustion flame. Now, you need a combustible substance which will burn. So that is known as fuel. That combustible substance is known as fuel. When the fuel is burned, you receive flame, heat, or I should say light and heat, and this complete process is known as combustion. So next, what we have here is, after studying combustion, that it is a type of reaction. So what we should understand here is combustion. It depends on what factors. Or what are the necessary conditions for combustion to occur. क्या होना चाहिए so that combustion can happen. So it requires fuel, combustible substance. It can be wood, it can be charcoal, it can be coal, it can be gases like LPG, CNG, methane. It can be hard material, it can be sodium, potassium. There are multiple things which can burn. Okay, so fuel, whatever thing which we need to whatever thing which should burn. Then air is the very important thing for burning. If there is no air, nothing will burn. Okay, you have seen the experiment with the activity which you have already done, which I have told you to do. That is, burn a candle and cover it with a glass. What you will observe, after some fraction of seconds, it will stop burning. Candle will stop burning. It happens because now there is no oxygen. From air, what we need is oxygen. So without oxygen, there will be no burning, or I should say no combustion. Next is heat, or typical word which you should remember now. This is a typical word. Ignition temperature. Ignition temperature is a very important factor for anything to burn. For example, if I want to burn this wood, if I am using a matchstick, it won't catch fire. It needs a huge amount of heat. It requires a huge amount of heat to start burning. So, there are substances which can burn which start burning at approximately 400 degrees Celsius. Okay, so such substances have high ignition temperature. Those substances which will burn at 400 degrees Celsius, they are definitely having a very high that is ignition temperature. And there are substances which can burn at a fraction of a moment. Even at 0 degrees Celsius, they will start burning. Okay, so their ignition temperature is very low. For example, LPG, CNG, methane, they only require a single spark from the lighter, and they will start burning. So their ignition temperature is extremely low. And solid substances, their ignition temperature is quite high. Okay. So these are the main three factors which should be there for any combustion to take place or any burning to take place. Fuel, air. From air, what I mean is oxygen and heat. That is ignition temperature. Moving on to the next is types of combustion. When we are talking about combustion, we should also talk about types of combustion. So there are three types of combustion: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. So when we are dealing with rapid combustion means those things which burn very fast. Those things which burn very fast. For example, if you turn on the knob of your gas stove, ignite the gas, it will keep on burning till the time the cylinder has gas in it. जब तक सिलेंडर में गैस है तब तक वो जलता रहेगा, वो बुझेगा नहीं अपने जब तक आप नहीं बुझाओगे. So such fires are such type of combustion is known as rapid combustion, which doesn't extinguish by itself. You have to intervene to stop it. For example, if coal is kept at some place, at some point of time it will stop burning by itself. Okay, at some point of time it will stop burning. But here it won't happen. So rapid combustion examples are liquefied petroleum gas, compressed natural gas, CNG, and CH4, that is methane, and there are many other gases also. Okay, next is spontaneous combustion. This is a quite tricky thing. When we are talking about spontaneous combustion, you should understand that we are talking about those burns or those fires which happen by themselves. We have nothing to do with them. We are not at all in between them. They happen by themselves. They start burning by themselves. You can't even imagine that they will burn. Okay, they just need an exposure and they will start burning. For example, potassium and sodium. Potassium, sodium, phosphorus. There are multiple metals or even non-metals which burn by themselves if they are left in this room. That's why sodium and potassium are kept inside kerosene. They are kept inside kerosene because they do not react with kerosene. Yes, obviously kerosene is a fuel. Okay, kerosene is used to burn, but sodium and potassium do not react with kerosene. That's why they are stored inside kerosene so that they don't burn. If I place a bar of sodium here, it will start burning. It will start burning by itself. You can't even do anything over it. It will burn by itself. Okay, so when we are talking about sodium, potassium, these are elements which can start by burning by themselves. You don't have any control over them. They just need contact with oxygen and they will start burning. Other such examples are forest fires. Now inside forest you are not going to start burning. No one wants to start the burning inside a forest. Okay, no one wish to have forest fires. But because of increase in temperature, if there is a drought-like situation inside forest, in extreme summers, there is increase in temperature, and because of wind or anything, two trees they just rub each other, or even branches rub each other because of heat produced, or because of the friction and the heat produced, they will start burning. And so it can happen randomly anywhere. Such type of fires are spontaneous combustion. Okay. Next is explosion. Now, explosion is the thing which you enjoy the most. Yes, explosion is the thing which you enjoy the most. During Diwali, what you burn, crackers, they are actually the crackers which you burn are actually you can say explosion. They explode. They burn in a fraction of second. वो सारा का सारा एक सेकंड में burn होके blast हो जाता है. That's why they are known as explosion. Okay. Since the invention of the fire, human always wanted to control the fire. जब से आग की खोज हुई है, पता चला है कि how we can start burning. Human has always been keen to control the fire. We always wanted to control the fire. Obviously, when we are cooking food, we want the fire to be in control. When you are cooking food, you want fire to be in control. You don't want an explosion or a spontaneous combustion down there. Okay, you don't want to burn yourself. There are many other purposes of fire can also be. Okay, so how to control a fire? Basically, how you are able to control the fire? In order to control fire, you can use these methods. Cut the fuel, cut the air, or cut the temperature. These are the few ways you can extinguish a fire or you can remove fire. Cut the fuel. For example, when you turn off the knob of your stove, gas stove, fire stop burning because you cut the fuel. You cut the fuel. Similarly, cut the air. When I give you the example of that glass, inverted glass on a candle, I am providing an example of cutting the air. When you cut the air, fire will stop burning. When you are blowing air on a candle during your birthday, everyone starts clapping, but actually why that candle stop burning? Because a huge amount of carbon dioxide is released from your mouth. What you exhale is carbon dioxide. That carbon dioxide creates an environment near the candle. It creates an environment near the candle, because of which oxygen, the presence of oxygen is it becomes very narrow or nearly zero. Hence, the candle stops burning. So, cut the air. Third is cut the temperature. For example, if there is a fire and you just pour some water on it, cold water or icy cold water, it stops burning. The fire stops burning. So why it stopped burning? It stopped burning because we cut the temperature. We removed the temperature. Fire, I told you, anything for burning requires an ignition temperature. If you are removing that ignition temperature, fire will stop, or you can say you will be able to control the fire. So we have a special device known as fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher to control the you can say fire. The one which is inside your book is an example of soda acid. Soda acid. So basically, what soda is? We are talking about sodium bicarbonate. We are talking about sodium bicarbonate. Its formula is NaHCO3. When it is reacted with acid, H2SO4 sulfuric acid, when it is reacted with acid, it releases out a huge amount of carbon dioxide gas. It releases a huge amount of carbon dioxide gas with a very huge pressure. Okay, it does release salt and water. Okay, but it releases a huge amount of carbon dioxide gas. And this carbon dioxide gas, when poured or when thrown on any burning item, it removes all the possible, or it cut out the oxygen. It cut the oxygen, and hence we are able to stop the fire. That is the way how fire extinguisher works. So fire extinguisher also work in the same three manner. That is, some are there which can cut the fuel. For example, if there is a fire on a petrol, so even if you throw carbon dioxide or even if you throw water, it won't make any difference. It won't make any difference. So what they do is they use a foam-based fire extinguisher, which creates a layer on the petrol or any petroleum product, and hence they can stop the fire. Okay. Similarly, when we are talking about temperature, when you throw the water, it removes the ignition temperature, and hence you can stop the fire. But for example, if there is an electrical fire, so on electrical fire you cannot throw water. Okay, you cannot throw water, or even if wire is burning, you can't go near the wire and you can't blow air from your mouth. So you can also get caught in that fire. Okay, or you can get electrocuted. आपको shock लग सकता है. So what you use is you will use fire extinguisher, because it will throw a huge amount of carbon dioxide gas, and this gas will remove the fire from there. Or simply you can also use that bucket of sand. Okay, you just throw the sand on that thing and it will work. It will cut out the fuel as well. It will cut the you can say air, and it can also it won't work on temperature. Okay, so this is the way how things work, or how you can control a fire. Okay, when we are talking about flame, when we are dealing with flame, what actually flame is? Flame is the glowing body. Flame is the glowing body. Basically, when wax is burning or kerosene is burning, or you can say when the LPG is burning, what happens? Because they are able to vaporize, or they become vapors. So they burn in this portion. Okay, when wax is heated, it vaporizes, it changes into vapors, and those vapors are burned here. So that is the reason we are able to receive a proper flame, when we are able to receive a proper flame in terms of candle and kerosene lamp. Okay, but what actually happens is flame is divided into three parts. A flame is divided into three parts. First part is the outermost part. First part is the outermost part. Now, what happens in the outermost part is it has a huge supply of oxygen from surrounding. Okay, it is having sufficient amount of oxygen from the surrounding, and that is the reason it burns quite properly. It burns quite properly, and it has a blue color. It has a blue color. But because of this outer frame, it acts as a coat. It acts as a covering or coat. So that is the reason only a few amount of oxygen is able to get inside here. Only few amount of oxygen is able to get inside here, and because of that we call it innermost zone. We call it innermost. Middle zone. We call it middle zone. And in middle zone, because of the less amount of oxygen or less amount of combustion, or we can say limited amount of oxygen, we receive a color of yellow or whitish color. Okay, but in the innermost there is no oxygen, or you can say there is oxygen in extremely less quantity. Okay, so what happens is here we get a dark zone, or it doesn't illuminate. It do not show any illumination. It do not show any light. It is a inner zone is of dark color. Okay, so this is the way how you receive the three zones of a flame: outermost, middle, and then inner. Okay, so the last topic for this chapter is fuel. So last topic for this chapter is fuel. So when we are dealing with fuel, we can say substance that gives us heat. Fuel is a substance which gives us heat. Now, I would say it also gives us light also. Okay, but moving on to further, when we are dealing with fuel, you have few categories for fuel. That is good fuel or ideal fuel. I am not going to explain this part. You have to study this part by yourself. That is ideal fuel or good fuel. What is a good fuel? A good fuel is something which should be cheap, it should be easily available, which you can easily transport it, which can be which do not pollute and which do not catch fire, right, so on and etc. There are huge amount of things which are associated with ideal fuel. So you are going to study by yourself. Okay. Now the important topic which you have here is efficiency of a fuel. What you receive here is efficiency of a fuel. Now, when we are talking about efficiency, so basically when we are talking about efficiency, we are actually meaning that how much heat is produced, how much heat is getting produced, or we can say calorific value. Okay, it is dependent on the fuel, or I should say it is dependent on the amount of carbon or hydrogen available in it. For example, calorific value of CNG is nearly 50,000 kilojoules per kilogram. Okay, and calorific value of cow dung cakes, it's quite just 6,000 or nearly 6,000 to 8,000 for 1 kg. So it's very low. It is the actually energy which is getting produced when you are burning a fuel. Okay, so efficiency means a fuel when it is burned, the calories it releases or the amount of heat it releases or the energy it gives out. Okay, so when we are talking about good fuels, they are able to give high calorific value, and when we are talking about so-so fuels or not that much good fuels, okay, they don't give too good value. Understood? And the last which we have here is time. So when we are talking about types of fuel, we have liquid fuel, solid fuel, and gaseous fuels. Okay, so I'm not going to deal with gaseous fuel because you know it very well. LPG, CNG, methane, butane. There are n number of fuels. Okay. When I will talk about liquid first. You all have seen those F1 Formula cars. You have seen those F1 Formula cars. Those F1 Formula cars use a special type of fuel, that is ethanol. Okay, it is burned inside these F1 cars, and this fuel do not produce any flame. The ethanol which is used in these F1 cars, they do not produce any sort of flame. Okay. Other examples are all the fossil fuels. You can say kerosene, petrol, diesel, and others. There are huge amount of liquid fuels which are available. Okay. Moving on to further, we have solid fuel. Again, solid fuel. Now, solid fuel when we are talking about, it is not only that is coal or the fossil fuel which we receive. It can be wood, firewood. Okay, it can be charcoal, or you can say cow dung cakes which are available. So there are multiple types of solid fuel which are available to us. Gas, I have already told you, LPG, CNG. So these are the examples of gaseous fuels. Okay, that is the thing which this is the last topic which I wanted to share with you. If you face any doubt, you have my number, you can contact me anytime. Okay, thank you.